Welcome to Ask a Lawyer with attorney Joey Franks at the Franks Law Firm in Ridgeland, Mississippi. Each week, Joey answers your questions about the law and how it affects you.
Joey, what are some of the workers' compensation benefits in Mississippi a injured worker has a right to receive?
Generally, they're broken up to a couple different categories. First would be indemnity benefits, which is to essentially replace lost wages. And those will be either temporary partial disability benefits, meaning that you're able to earn some kind of wages, but not what you were earning. You have temporary total disability benefits, which means you can't work at all, but a doctor has not released you back to work. So we're waiting to see what the doctor will say. And then you have the permanent partial disability and permanent total disability benefits, which means a doctor has released you and has either provided some restrictions or said you can never go back to work. And you should receive those either weekly or bi-weekly for the temporary ones. And once the partial ones come into play, that's usually given out in a lump sum. But then there's also medical benefits, which means they should be paying for all of your medical expenses related to the work injury. And then there's the mileage benefit for actually having to drive to and from doctor's visits.
Let me ask this. What's the difference in temporary benefits and permanent benefits?
Well, the temporary benefits are meant to get you through the injury to a point that you can return back to work. And if you're receiving temporary, whether it's partial or total disability benefits, they are only in play until a doctor releases you to return back to work and either assigns restrictions and impairment ratings or no restriction and no impairment ratings. And the permanent benefits means a doctor's assigned these restrictions or impairment ratings and says, you can no longer do this, that, and the other, or you can no longer return to work, but you are permanently like this. So now we're looking at trying to replace your wages going forward permanently as opposed to just temporarily seeing what is going on and waiting for a doctor to make a determination.
How often should my benefits be paid?
Benefits are generally paid either weekly or bi-weekly. That's every other week. However, on occasion, they will step outside at that time period and not pay them properly. If they're not paid properly, then you may be entitled to penalties as the workers, be an extra 10% tacked on possibly. However, if someone was receiving a check weekly and it's 2 or 3 days late, as long as they've paid you what was owed within 14 days, they're technically in compliance with Mississippi workers' compensation law. And I know that's a big sticky point for my clients because they're living on 2/3 of their wages. And they're really counting on checks to be there timely. Unfortunately, they have 14 days from the date it's owed to get that check to you.
Okay, so can they cut off my workers' comp check?
Usually, if a workers' compensation check is cut off, it is because a doctor has released an injured worker back to work. That is usually when a workers' compensation check is cut off. But yes, they can cut it off. Another way they can go about cutting it off is actually through a hearing with the Workers' Compensation Commission.
So how does the mileage benefits work?
Every time you have to go to a doctor or physical therapy or get an MRI or CT scan, you get mileage from the time you leave your home to the time you arrive there and back. And for 2017, they should be paying 53.5 cents a mile. And for a 2016 injury, they should be paying 54 cents a mile.
How long can a person receive medical benefits?
Indefinitely. There is no limit on medical benefits under Mississippi workers' compensation law as far as time frame. As long as the injury is still there and you have not settled your case, then you will have rights to medical benefits going forward.
Thanks for listening to Ask a Lawyer with attorney Joey Franks at the Franks Law Firm in Ridgeland, Mississippi. Call attorney Franks at 601-773-7777. His website is thefrankslawfirm.com.